Hello, welcome back to my channel, Facing the Waves. I am sitting inside today in our living room facing the window that points to our field. If you see my son, he's riding his dirt bike back there, so you might see him all the way in the far back going around the property. But I wanted to share a dream with you that I had. This was probably a couple weeks ago. I wrote it down, but I never shared it with you. And I was just trying to wait and see if maybe God gave me a message to go with this dream. And I never really did. I never received a specific message about this dream, but the dream did remind me of other similar dreams I've had in the past. So I thought it would be something interesting to share with you, because I definitely think God sends messages to us through dreams. Sometimes our dreams are just a replay of our day, and sometimes they don't mean anything, but other times I do think they have hidden meanings in them. So this specific dream that I had this night, it was of my parents arriving in their camper. And this is kind of true in my real life, because next summer my parents are supposed to be visiting us and they're coming in their camper. So that's kind of what was happening in my dream. My parents had arrived and it was kind of in the evening time. They were getting their camper leveled out and getting themselves situated after such a long road trip. I finally, when they were done getting themselves all settled, I went to go get them. I had already greeted them before this, but I went in to check on them and to see if they wanted to see our house, because this would be the first time that they're seeing our house that we bought here in Maine. So I approached them to bring them to start giving them the tour of the house, and we started off heading towards the basement, because my dad wanted to see our basement. And our basement, the entrance to it is actually right at the front patio when you first walk into our house. So that was pretty much our first stop, was to go into the basement. And I was talking to my dad, opening the basement floor door, and my mom, she went in first while I was distracted talking to my dad. She had went in first, and I did not get a chance to warn her, because our steps have maybe one or two bad steps, and we try to avoid stepping on one of them because it's very loose, and we do have to get that fixed in real life. But I didn't get a chance to warn her, and she rushed down the stairs and literally fell. She fell down the stairs and fell right in her face. And I'm not sure what happened in my dream after that. I know we were checking her, make sure she didn't get injured badly. But then my dream fast forwarded from that scene, and all of a sudden me and my husband and the kids were going to the store, and it was late in the evening, but we had forgotten something. I guess we were making dinner, cooking dinner, and I had forgotten a major ingredient or something that I needed from the store. So for some reason we left my parents there at the house, and we went ourselves to the store. And we were driving, and then suddenly, for some reason, we drove to the town where the store is at, which is in real life 40 minutes away, and it seemed that way in my dream as well. We stopped at the movie theaters because apparently we had promised our kids that we were going to watch a specific movie that day, and I don't know why, but we stopped at the movie theater, and because we wanted to keep the promise to them. We began to watch the movie, and I began to get really bothered and anxious and annoyed, because I remembered that we had company at home. My parents were at home waiting for us, and this was just supposed to be a really quick store run, and now it was going to turn into an all-night thing, because we were watching this movie, and our home was 40 minutes away, so we still had to go to the store, finish this movie, drive 40 minutes back home. And all I kept thinking about was my parents at home waiting, and how silly of us. Why the heck were we at this movie theater watching a movie when we had other things to do? And I didn't even get a chance to finish showing them the house, and I just felt so stressed out about that, and I became super restless, and I kept nagging my husband that we needed to go, that we should go. And I was nagging him so much in the middle of this movie that was playing that the lady in front of us turned around. She had an attitude and told me to be quiet. So after that, I couldn't take it anymore. So I stormed out. I said I was going to leave and go to the store and pick them back up once the movie was over. So then we could all head back home. So I went outside of the movie theater and it was already dark outside. It was nighttime. And like in my dream, I felt like we had left our house in the evening as the sun was setting. But once I stepped out of the movie theater, it was already night. So while walking out into the town, out of the movie theater, there was a really negative energy in the air. Everybody that was walking around me seemed grumpy with their heads hung low. Everybody just seemed depressed. There was homeless people around the corners doing drugs. There was police, sirens, and all of that flying by randomly. I felt like there was no other person around me that was normal or happy. And all of a sudden the urge to get my family was so strong. Like I felt like I needed to get them out of there too, because I felt like something was going on or was about to happen. So I went back to go get them and found that the movie screen was off in the movie theater and everybody was being escorted out. And like through the whole discussion of that, they found out that it was just some teenage kids or someone playing pranks on the movie theater business, and somehow they shut the power off to the theaters. And the owners just decided to call it a day, call it quits for that night and close out. So they were escorting everybody out. And my family, they wanted to wait because there was a line at the ticket booth of people waiting for their complimentary tickets to come back, because since this night was a fail, everybody had already bought their tickets, but the movie theater was giving out comp tickets to come back another night. They wanted to wait for those, but I continued urging them that we needed to go because I was just so frustrated and I felt like something bad was going to happen, and I just continued urging them that we needed to go. So I got in the car. At this point, my kids weren't there in my dream anymore. It was just me and my husband. I don't know why, but he seemed like he was upset with me or annoyed with me. He was like staring off into space and giving me the silent treatment. We were getting ready to leave, but he wouldn't start the car so that we could leave. And I was seeing people like pass out on the ground around us and around the town. One guy that was walking right by our truck or our car, he dropped, like he nodded off. And as he was nodding off, his arm kind of like went into my window that was open and like almost touched me, almost brushed past me as he fell down. And I wanted my husband to just like hurry up, crank up the car and get out of there and haul tail out of there. But he was just like stuck in a trance and he would not start the car. And then that is when I woke up. So I'm not sure if this specific dream had any meaning, but I thought it was worth mentioning because it reminded me a lot about like many other dreams and almost like doomsday type dreams that I've had in the past and that other people have experienced in the past as well. I've had many other like very creepy, weird dreams that you just wake up feeling so weird and weirded out by and confused by, and I don't know, it's like a very odd feeling. But I've had a lot of dreams like that in the past. Now this dream, I don't know what it meant. I don't know if it had any specific meaning, but just like the eerie feeling of it, the dark feeling of it kind of reminded me of other dreams that I've had. When we first moved here to Maine, I had a dream one night of going back to our old house in Florida, the house that we sold before moving here, and everything looked so different. The colors on the tree were like gray and black instead of green. Almost like if the whole road had burned at some point and everything was just like gray and smoky and ashy. People were walking around in a zombie-like state. Our neighbor that we lived next to at that point, in my dream, he was slumped over, like the people that nod off from the drugs. It was dark and eerie, trash everywhere, like everything was just abandoned and ugly. And in my head, I was like, wow, things really turned south after we moved out. And I've had so many other dreams. Like I have a lot of good dreams, and I have a lot of nights where I don't remember my dreams at all. But I do have a lot of dreams where everyone around me just seems off. Like I'm the only person noticing it or caring, and everybody's just like in a weird trance or in a zombie-like state. I've had many, many, many dreams of huge tsunami waves, and a lot of other people have had those dreams as well, which gives me like doomsday or end of time vibes with the tsunamis. One of the most memorable dreams that I have that has to kind of do with a tsunami is that me and everybody else were inside a really tall hotel building, like right by the beach shore, and we were looking at the waves pounding on the glass windows, and I'm like the only one wondering why we aren't running away and seeking shelter somewhere safer. Everybody's just sitting there like in a trance staring at the waves, and the water rising and the waves just smashing on the glass as if the glass couldn't just break at any moment. And I've had a couple other tsunami dreams, and like a lot of dreams that have to do with water, and I just forget to write them down, and I really do need to from now on write things like that down. But I've had dreams where our town is being evacuated for just an unknown reason. One specific dream I remember is soldiers with guns was rounding us up like cattle and being led into a building, like a weird building. And it was giving me like concentration camp vibes in that specific dream, because the soldiers were threatening us and threatening to kill anyone who attempted to leave. And somehow I was the one who found an escape for our family and was urging them to get out while we could. So that's another like weird, creepy dream that I've had, a scary dream. And I'm not sharing these to scare you, because dreams can have many meanings or symbolize different things. I'm just sharing my experiences, and some dreams are cool and are heartwarming and have a message that I want to share with you. Other dreams, I'm not really sure what they mean. And my hopes in sharing my dreams are that we can connect with each other, understand a deeper meaning to these dreams, because I might not know what it means or a specific dream means, but someone else might know. I've also kind of realized that a lot of people have very similar dreams, and without sharing those dreams or writing them down, we would never really know about them. We would never know that we have specific dreams in common with each other unless somebody shares them publicly. So yeah, sometimes after these dreams, I'm glad to wake up and see that I'm in my perfect little life rather than the terrible thing that I just dreamt about. But others, I'm very intrigued and wish I could just remain asleep to find out what happens at the end of the dream, or to somehow change the future in that dream. I think that dreams are so cool. And sometimes I wonder if like animals dream like us, or if little tiny babies have dreams of their own and they can remember their own dreams. And I just realized that God is so wonderful. How he created our bodies is just mind-blowing. Like every little cell and every molecule was placed in the right perfect spot to work together. It's just crazy to even think about. And I wanted to read a verse. It's Luke chapter 12 verse 7. And it says, "But the very hairs of your head are all numbered. Do not fear, therefore, you are of more value than many sparrows." So just knowing that God literally knows every strand of hair on our heads is just amazing. God knows everything about us. He built us from every single cell that we have in our body, every molecule. He placed it there perfectly, and he knew you before you were even conceived, which is just amazing to think about. And I think that we should continue to seek God. Help God help you understand more about yourself and what your purpose is on this earth. So I'm going to continue sharing dreams that I feel led to share to you, whether they're good or bad, whether I get a message from them or not. And this was just like one of those instances where I thought I should share it, because I just feel like if you think the world is dark right now, you don't even know. I feel like there's going to be so much worse coming, but we have to continue to ask God to be with us, to show us what is our purpose on this earth, because each of us have a purpose. And I know I'm going to use my purpose for good. I feel like God is raising an army. He's gathering an army of his people right now. He's giving every single person a job and a purpose. And you were born during these times for the specific purpose, because God knew that he could utilize you. So continue to seek God and ask him, what is your purpose? What gifts that God gave you that you can use to help others? Like, I'm literally not saying this to scare anyone, but I do feel like tough times are coming, but when we believe in God and we have 100% faith on him, we are not afraid at all. We don't have no reason to be afraid. We are just ready and prepared and just excited to fight the good fight and beat the enemy in whatever it is that the enemy throws at us, because we are an army of God and we stick together and we will prevail. So I'm excited to continue sharing dreams and messages with you, words of motivation and encouragement. Let me know your thoughts, or if you guys have any reoccurring dreams, I'd be happy to read them, and you can share them with whoever else is watching this video as well. I think it is pretty cool, and I even like watching other people's dream journal videos where they're sharing their dreams and what they think that those dreams mean. But I hope you guys enjoyed this little video and it gives you something to think about. I will see you guys in the next video. Again, let me know in the comments what you guys think, and God bless you guys. I will see you next time.